In this episode, I'm leaving Tonga behind and are setting sails towards Fiji. It's only 500 nautical miles and weather should be good this time. Perfect sailing conditions for be free most of the sail and even faster than normal the last 24 hours. Mostly sailing about 2 digits on the GPS with my Genoa only. Join me as I'm sailing around the world on Be Free, a Bavaria 55 cruiser. In the previous episode I showed you some of the things going on in Tonga, and even though I did not record anything from my meeting with Colin, it was a very nice experience to have a chat and share a few beers. Quite an impressive job done with this catamaran. Well done! Is it bribery of the judge?
No, it's a penalty.
The penalty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He had to make a special turn to drop this off. So this bottle goes to Orion or Orion. And you know what? I have to penalize him because he won with such. There's too big a gap, and I tried to slow him down. And he wouldn't slow down, so his penalty is...
Even in remote places like Tonga, the social part is amazing. In fact, I really have to turn down lots of activities in order to prioritize. Otherwise, it's easy to be stuck, and I don't have the time for that. In some ways, it's sort of a luxury problem as well. Lots of sailors have been hanging around here waiting for a weather window after some weeks of strong winds and bad weather. And some have also been waiting for rig replacement and rigging parts after the storms some of us passed through. And now it looks like a good window for my onward journey to Fiji is opening up as well. So unfortunately I don't have much time left here, as I can risk being stuck here waiting for a new weather window. It's almost like I regret spending so much time in French Polynesia. But cyclone season is here and it's time to move. It can even be challenged to continue fast enough from Fiji later. It's no fuel dock here and the fuel truck only takes cash. Also, I don't need that much, so instead of making too much fuss about it, I just walked with my jerrycans to the petrol station only a few kilometers away. So I've been at the petrol station and filling up a little bit diesel and petrol. Not much, but a few jerrycans. And this nice lady suggested she could take me back to my boat. How sweet is that? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
People are so friendly on this island, it's unbelievable. And I even received help from some random persons to carry my 4 jerrycans down the stairs to my dinghy. And a few minutes later I was surprised by a visit from a Norwegian actually living here. So it was really interesting to hear about his life and how he ended up here with his family. Thank you for your visit.
No, thank you, Thomas. It was great. I love the boat. And, will you untie me up there?
Yeah. En praktisk båt.
Veldig praktisk og simpel vedlikehold. All right. Okay, Thomas.
Vi snakkes.
Snakkes senere. Be free.
So funny to hear the southern Norwegian accent being in a tropical paradise. A really cool guy that actually sailed in here some decades ago. It's time to do some laundry, but I'm not doing it myself. I'm gonna bring it ashore to a laundry facility here. So it's not a self-service, but it's pretty cheap, so it's gonna be okay. I don't have too much. I have this bag and this bag, so days like this I miss my laundry machine. But you see, it's pretty gray. It has not been much sun the last few days, so the replacement of the batteries that occupied the space for my former laundry machine is worth every penny, and I'm really happy with the solution. I managed really well with my power. When editing videos and stuff like that, I'm running on an inverter, so I'm really thankful for have enough of power. But now I'm gonna do the laundry. Time to leave Tonga. So there it is. Been a nice place, very interesting, and a little bit different from some of the more what do you say, like poor places in French Polynesia. This is the last island in the group of Polynesian island, even though it's not French. Now it's on to Fiji. So many beautiful places around here I really wanted to explore, but the weather has not been on my side this time. It has either been too much wind and even raining sideways, or too much swells as a consequence of lots of windy days. So sadly I have to leave this piece of paradise behind, not even touch the surface. This is also the reality sometimes. I will try to arrive the most challenging part in sunrise, so I have a little bit, depending on if it's full moon, it's supposed to be full moon, then it could be okay, but preferably at sunrise. To understand the complexity sailing into Fiji, you need to zoom in on the map until you look straight into the eyes of the crabs. One of the reasons I always zoom in down to details when my route is planned, only to make sure there is no information I have overseen in lower layers. And in this region you really need to zoom in a lot. So yeah, I expect this to be a 2-day sail. I'm a little bit late out of Tonga, so we'll see how it goes, because it's yeah, I want to arrive the shallow water in some light. Also it's a challenge because I cannot arrive too late on Friday, because then it's overtime and weekend money, and it will double the entry price for the clearing process. So yeah. But man, the checkout system here in Tonga is so bureaucratic and so slow, it's a nightmare. But I guess that's how it is from now on. Lots of paperwork and bureaucracy, biosecurity and all kind of these things. So it's what goes with the territory. And I think I still haven't decided yet if I'm gonna go on the north side of Papua New Guinea or the south side. What I have decided is I'm not gonna sail down to New Zealand, and I'm not gonna sail down to Australia. So I think I've been spending enough time sitting in marinas and other places waiting out the hurricane seasons in the Caribbean and the pandemic and all these things. So I would like to try to sail. Also would love to reach Sarong and Raya Ampat for New Year's Eve or around Christmas time, so we'll see. I'm going a bit slow through here to soak in the beauty of this kingdom. In my opinion, this is much more interesting and beautiful than the French Polynesian islands. But of course, this is only my opinion, based on my preferences. To me, the atolls were exciting, but if you have seen one, you have seen them all. It's more or less same but different. I guess it has something to do with the same reasons my new Norwegian friend here explained to me. He loves this place because it's archipelago, almost like home, only slightly better climate. To some, the dramatic mountains you find in the Marquise Islands is the highlight of their Pacific crossing, and some sail from place to place only to explore new places underwater. Then Tonga definitely should be on your bucket list. Some are looking for paradise beaches to anchor in front, and others enjoy the more urban places the most. This is the beauty of life and having so different wishes and preferences in our definition of paradise. I enjoy arriving at new places and making new friends, learning about cultures and real life things. But most of all, I enjoy just being out here sailing, feeling the wind and the salt in my face. This is my happy place. And once again, I've said see you later to lots of friends. They are sailing towards Australia and New Zealand, and Be Free is pointing towards Melanesia and Asia. But first stop is Fiji, belonging to the same continent as Tonga, that's Oceania. But its population is different and so is the region. Now it's Melanesia and some influence even from India. And again, I'm reminded about the fact from now on I'm moving towards a category of very exclusive sailors. Very few claiming to sail around the world are actually doing it, and most sailboats ends their journey somewhere in Oceania, being sold to new owners. Now I have circumnavigated half the world and are getting closer to Europe again for every mile I sail. The handful sailors doing this for real is extremely exclusive. In fact, it's more people climbing Mount Everest every year than doing a full circle with a sailboat. This is things I'm thinking about now as I'm sailing towards new adventures. Expect it to be like this cold, sailing to exotic places like Fiji, Tonga. But the South Pacific has definitely been a cold experience. I don't do so much swimming from off the boat as I would do in the Caribbean, because basically the water is so cold. I've been not declimatized for the South Pacific yet. I still have the temperature of the Caribbean inside me. It's a little bit rolly because I'm going dead flat downwind. I'm not a big fan of downwind sailing, basically because it's rolly. I think this would be so much better on a catamaran. I'm doing quite good speed though, 7 knots, only flying the Genoa. The reason I'm only flying the Genoa is the mainsail makes too much shade because of the back spreaders. It's not ideal when you go dead flat downwind. You need to get the sail more out, so it's better to just go with the Genoa, and it's not that big of a difference in the speed. If I could have a little bit more angle, I would go much faster because the wind is quite good, but it is what it is. So, but I'm enjoying it. It's so nice to be out sailing again. I'm gonna catch up with some old friends in Fiji. During the storm I had towards Tonga, the waves was quite rough at its worst. I had one huge breaking wave crashing into this cockpit, which is something I rarely experience. What I forgot to tell you in the storm episode is what I was only seconds away from activating a mayday. Not because having problems, but my earbib was smashed out of its housing and almost fell overboard. So obviously the old location was not so good. Thankfully, I managed to retrieve it before the entire world would believe I was in some sort of distress. My earbib is fine, but I still want to have it inspected in Fiji, and even see if I can get a new housing with hydrostatic release. The old hydrostat release is now destroyed, so it's only manual from now. before sunset, I use quite some time studying the clouds and what I see around me. This is information I use to have an opinion of what to expect for the next 6 hours or so.
There are a few things that surprised me a little bit with the Pacific, and I don't know if I didn't study it enough, or I think it's much colder than I expected. I'm freezing. And also the waves, I mean, I would expect the waves to be much more organized, maybe bigger. This is just like a messy version of the Caribbean. So with so deep water, I kind of expect it to be not so messy, but that's what it is. Anyway, I'm looking at the celestial thing to see when the moonrise is, and it looks good. That means it's gonna be almost daylight. That's nice. I like to sail in full moon. When it's not cloudy, it gives such a beautiful light on the ocean. I really like that.
Already halfway there, and the seas are still a bit rolly. However, B3 is flying and making really good progress. So I'm excited to see Fiji, that I have heard so much good about. And again, the waves are much bigger than this format shows you. And now and then it feels like I'm falling sideways down the hills. Looking aft, it seems like I'm all over the place. But this is only an illusion because of the crossing waves. Being such short sail, I sleep most of the day, preparing to be well rested when reaching more complicated waters. Also this night the wind picks up and giving me very good speed, eating miles like crazy.
The better if it continues like this, I sail slower. I mean, if it's mid to high 20s, that's my sweet spot. That's when B3 go as fast as possible. But now 42, 43, that's when I have to slow down.
The entire night with mostly 2 digits on the GPS, and it's not even looking like it's gonna slow down now either. So I'm definitely gonna make it before the weekend, meaning another epic sail with 500 nautical miles is soon behind me. It's pretty amazing to see speeds like this, only flying my Genoa. I took the mainsail down during the night as it was so unstable with lots of squalls passing. And now I'm just lazy and more than happy with the speed. I could probably see in higher numbers, but this is really comfortable. I feel pretty rested, even though a shorter sail is harder for me, because now I have to stay awake during the day, not only arriving but through pretty challenging waters in terms of navigation. Broad reach sailing is fast, however it also means the spray hood offers very little protection, so a hot coffee with a blanket is just what I need now as I'm approaching Fiji.
Made it to Fiji. Well, Fiji is a lot of islands, but I'm at Savo Savo. So now I'm gonna check in. I'll say I'm waiting for the customs and immigration and biosafety and all this. They really love bureaucracy here, so I'm excited to see how it's gonna be.
Thank you so much for watching and all your support. A special thanks to all my patrons that makes it possible for me to upload these videos. Much love from me on Be Free.